What's up? It's Rattlesnake coming at you live once again from NASCAR, Austin, Texas. Officially
the
NASCAR,
motherland.
Austin, Texas. I'm out here looking like a true Texan. I got my hat. I got my bolo tie. Here we go. I'm here with my co-host, Dakota. We do not have a guest because us two just do it better by ourselves. Isn't that right?
Honestly, it is what it is at this point. If we can get a guest, we get them. If we don't, we don't. We just, casting that line, hoping we get a bite, boy. Another episode. Let's get it, dude.
Let's get it. What's up? It's Chairgatin coming at you live.
Hello, come right in.
Rock, flag, and eagle.
Hey,
So here we
I
are.
like it.
Here we are in my hometown. We have a new sponsor. So we just picked up Yeti. That was great. Yeti here in Austin, Texas. I love their products. Everybody loves their products. And if you use our link to buy anything, it pays us, and we want to get paid. So do that. Also, we just added to our list of sponsors. Dakota, why don't you give them a shout out? You brought this one on.
Boy, if y'all haven't noticed for a while, I've been flexing on them. My boys and girls at Yeats Official have been rocking the Shades game. They're a huge wave. Put that on a cracker, dude. You've been seeing them on TikTok. They're blowing up. They got the coolest shades going around. Get you a pair. I mean, I'm about to have my boy Rattlesnake hooked up here in a second. But at Yeats Official, check them out. Instagram, Facebook, the whole nine. They're blowing up. If you want to look cool like a pimp like me, I mean, get you a pair. Code 10% off. Chairgatin, baby. Boom.
Yeah. 10% off with the promo code Chairgatin, all caps, spelled just like it looks. Just take off the G because we're rednecks.
You already know.
Yeah, we're really excited about that deal. Actually, that's a cool one. Dakota's been like DMing them, and yeah, they're all about it. So we're excited about this one. So everybody go look as cool as Dakota. I know we always get comments about him wearing shades every episode. Now you can be just like that degenerate. Nathan, yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for reminding us. Yeah.
We meant 8 Central Time.
There you go. That's what it was.
Sorry
it was
for
just
the typo.
It was an hour difference. Yeah.
For all our fans out there.
Yeah, straight up Western. Yeah, this is what I wear when I take my horse to work.
Dude, are you wearing the hat Dakota this weekend?
I mean,
are you getting the scanners? You already get your scanners?
I don't even know if I should get the scanners just because it's like the way this track is set up. I don't know.
You're probably so blitz, you don't even know who's leading.
Right. It all depends on if I'm rocking the scanners. I'm meeting up with a lot of people. Yeah, we know it says 8-7 Central. We get it. Shut up, Nathan. Yeah, but it all depends. I'm meeting up with a lot of people. The Garage Guy fam.
Hey, shout out their crew. Guys. They hit big this last weekend. I saw.
Yeah,
those fuckers, man, making mad money.
Yeah, I think I'm supposed to meet up with Eric Eastep. Might meet up with some drivers. We'll see. It's going to be a really fun weekend. I'm glad NASCAR's here in Austin, Texas.
Didn't you just meet a driver in the middle of Austin somewhere?
Yeah. I ran into Noah.
A fellow cowboy?
Yeah, Noah, the cowboy. He was rocking the cowboy hat. I was with my work crew. We just got done golfing. We were walking through downtown, gonna get a bite to eat, and yeah, him and his crew were rolling by on the scooters, and I was like, "Hey, Noah!" Like, I just recognized him, and yeah. So
ironic.
That's
dog.
Yeah, super cool dude.
Hey, what the fuck, man? When you getting on our show?
Yeah, well, super cool dude though. I will say, everybody that meets him always says that, and yeah. Pretty accurate. Just a normal guy. Yeah, just a normal dude. He's not. Yeah, he's like a guy. He seems like a guy you would just chill with. He's not stuck up or anything like that. So yeah, it was cool. I'm gonna have a great time here. Like I said, I have, been a little cautious about NASCAR racing at COTA, but we'll talk more about that in a second. First, let's get to some news. What do you got, Brad Keselowski? That's a bit of news.
So like I was throwing out there to you earlier in the comments, what up, Johnny?
Our boy.
So Hey, cheers to Johnny, y'all. He's
Cheers to Erska.
Hey, ever since I was on that Erska honors, intro thing, I'm still in their Discord. So it's always like Johnny Thomas says we're running throwbacks tonight at whatever track. And I'm like, dude, like, why am I getting these alerts? What the hell? But shout out Johnny. So Brad K was a little bit in the news this week. I'm sure everybody's heard by now, but you can get our opinions right now. Is Roush Fenway reaches out for a part-time, or it's not part, it's full-time, part owner, part driver relationship, almost like Tony Stewart-esque, that Brad K could totally redesign the Roush Fenway camp and take charge and maybe get that team going right. They're already making strides this year in 2021.
They are.
Like,
yeah.
If Brad K was over there taking charge of the ship, like, who knows what could happen. But they literally wrote it like this was already a done deal, or like this was already in the works. And I was kind of surprised because they were like, Brad K is looking at this contract. And it was like, well, if they're reaching out, is anyone else reaching out? And then they harped on how he was on a one contract year from last year. Will he stay at the 2? He's unhappy in the 2. Penske's, redhead stepchild. But I really don't know, man. I'm kind of like, wow, that would be a big move for him, taking some, ownership role. But then I'm also like, dude, you're in the blue. Well, it's not even the Blue Deuce anymore. You're in the Deuce, like,
yeah, whatever it is.
3+ wins a year. Do you really, is the grass greener on the other side? I can see some rough stepping stones, but like maybe as a retirement plan, this could be almost like a Denny Hamlin route.
Yeah. First of all, thank you. Cheers, Johnny. Agreed. Chris Buescher, though, is somebody that I do want to mention when we're going to talk about this deal. So essentially, if you're Brad Keselowski, in my opinion, your career's, coming to an end. I'm not saying he's about to retire anytime soon, but it's coming, right? Obviously. And you could just end your career at Penske in the 2, like you said, with getting a handful of wins every single season. You're probably not going to win a championship again, but you could. I mean, you're a potential threat at any given season. Yeah. The reason I think he would leave, and we all know that he's had his problems with Penske. That's very well established. But I think the reason you would leave is a deal like this where you do get part ownership. And I think that's probably why they're mentioning that, or, offering him something like that, because that's what it would take to get him out of the 2 car, because the equipment there is just so much better. That being said,
Penske's probably the second favorite team right now.
Right.
I would there say with Gibbs and Hendricks is like, do you leave the Penske stable? But then it's also like, I feel like Brad K is almost like yesterday's news. I mean, I know he's still hot shit, but it's like, it seems like they're kind of like, yeah, Brad, you're still here, whatever. We have.
I don't know why Penske is not. It's kind of like if anybody follows the NFL, it seems like for whatever reason, like the Green Bay Packers hate their quarterback.
Right.
It seems kind of like that with Penske. It's like he's such a talented driver. He's one of the best in Cup probably still. If we're talking about like top 10 at least.
Dude, literally, if I wasn't a diehard Legend, old school Kevin Hart fan, I could have been a Brad K fan.
Yeah,
the 2 Miller Lite,
same thing. Yeah,
I like Brad K. I like his aggressiveness. He's kind of like old school, and he's not afraid to speak his mind. But then I'm also like, I don't know, like I just didn't work out. I'm always like, I admire that guy.
Right. So. For Brad, I think this is the deal that he's kind of looking for to get out of the 2, because he's looking for post-career as a driver. He's like, am I going to be in the booth? Am I going to be part owner? Maybe both if you're Jeff Gordon. But this is the deal I think that would get him out of the 2, and I don't know how well he's going to perform on that team. Right. But that team is looking better, at least with Buescher. Buescher is looking promising. Dude. And if this story is, accurate, from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, he'll be taking a 6 car. So it means that probably Ryan Newman's out.
I believe that's what Bob Parker said. Don't quote me on that, but I believe Bob Parker or Jim Under, one of the, dudes.
One of those guys.
They were
Matt
saying
Weaver,
that
maybe one of them.
It was projected that he would be taking over the 6 ride. So that already has me rolling that. So is this Newman's last year? Is Newman out of the 6? I don't expect Newman to be picked up. I mean, how long are we going to keep the snowball rolling, Newman? I love you, dog, but like, let's wrap it up, bro. Like, let's do that retirement goodbye. I mean, you had a great career.
Did he?
I like Newman. Newman's like He's like a biffle, man.
Maybe. Well, yeah, that's actually pretty good. Maybe during the off season, this can become a segment where we review careers and grade careers based on performances.
There's quite a few we could judge.
Yeah, Newman's a good one because he's the one where you're like, he is a good driver, but how was his career? That being said, I agree. He could be almost like a Kenseth thing where they kind of just bring him back when teams need somebody because they're like, he's a quality driver. He has all this experience. So it might be his last
I could see Newman just like disappearing season. And like, hey, man, I'm going to do my own thing, bro.
Yeah, but then getting called up in a ride at like the Daytona 500 because they got some sponsors and they need a driver.
Like Motorsports ride or something.
Right. And he's like, fuck it. Write me a check. I'll get in the car. I could see his career going that way. But yeah, I think Ryan Newman's kind of been on the way out for a while. When he left RCR, I was like, he's not going to have much longer.
Right. Well, I mean, he's like kind of like Newman can drive, but I mean, he's Newman. He'll always be
Newman can drive. Everybody knows that. No doubt.
It's like he's kind of like just team hopped around to whatever seat's open.
Yeah.
And like just spin there. And I mean, he's had like, some decent. He got some runs in that 39 car and had some wins, or even the 31 at RCR.
How many wins did he have at RCR though? Honestly,
at RCR, I think he had one, but at Haas, I think he had like 2 or 3.
He had more than one at RCR, but
I know either he won Phoenix on that 2-tire strategy at 1 year. Whatever.
Either way, the point is he was never racking up wins. You know what I mean?
No, it's always like a once every.
If he could get one win a year, that was like a good season.
Yeah.
For Newman, and that's the kind of driver you get. You're going to get a guy that he's an aggressive blocker. He's not.
The crazy thing is, in 2014 when Kevin won, Newman he was running Kevin down in P2 and almost won the championship with 0 wins. Like he literally almost pulled it off. He had a fast car in 31. And he finished second in points that year. In the 31 Caterpillar, which essentially is Tyler Reddick's ride.
I mean, I also think that this is something that team needs to do. They need something to rejuvenate that once great powerhouse team. They need some kind of rejuvenation. And, I don't know if Brad Keselowski is going to be a good team owner, but maybe just having his name, attached to it will help.
You remember Brad K had BK Racing in the truck series. I think they won 11 truck races. And, I mean, he had plenty of dudes fall in. You had Chastain, Briscoe, Reddick.
Right, that's right.
A lot of names young when they were young hopped in. I think Joey Logano did a race. Ryan Blaney did some in his early days.
You got a lot of really good young talented drivers.
He started some talents, but I don't know if it was like funding or sponsors. They kind of just like fizzled out, and he was like, "Hey, this ain't working. I'm done."
So my thought is with something like that is he can just kind of be the face of the ownership part of the team where he can, be driver relations, get sponsors, stuff like that. He doesn't need to do the business end.
If he goes to the 6, it's like, what sponsors could Brad K, a champion, attract? What kind of speed and knowledge could he bring to that?
And not just as a driver, but as a part owner as well. So that I feel like that's more enticing.
Even if when he steps back, like maybe he takes Roush in the direction it needs.
Right. Yeah. And so, oh, okay. Well, apparently his team was really bad, really poorly managed, and they weren't paying drivers. Okay. Well, either way, that actually, I think, lends more proof to my point earlier is that he doesn't need to do the management stuff. Like, they already have the team for that. He can just kind of be the face of the ownership for the team, which is, I think that would be a good role for him. He's very active. He knows everybody. I think he could get sponsors. And so I think it could work out for everybody, for all the parties, because they're both kind of in positions where they need something to happen. So I think it'd be great.
And here, as this ball rolls, and that's the thing is like, this could go on, and then it's like, in July, they're like, Brad K re-signs with Penske Racing. Or like,
if that shit happens, I'm just done with the rumors of Brad
How many
K.
times we see these rumors end up being true? Like, they wouldn't be rumors for no reason. And, well, here's the thing is if Brad leaves the 2, who goes to the 2?
Okay, so this is the other big topic. This might be even bigger.
Yeah.
Because like you said, Penske this year right now is number 2, but any given year, Penske is the 1 or the 2 team. You know what I mean? Like any given year,
they're always there ready to strike.
They're always in the top 3 no matter what.
They may be like off some races, but any given week, the 12-2 or 22 has a shot to win.
Exactly.
One of those
100%.
drivers has a shot.
pretty much every single week, you can't count out one of their drivers. Yeah. So they are one of the best this year. I would say they're number 2, but at any point this season, they could jump back up to number 1. They're that good of a team. And so to have such a good open seat, that gets interesting. That's like a whole nother topic. We might have to just save that for a whole nother episode, because I could talk an entire episode just about the possibilities of who's taking that ride. Has there been anything reported about who might be taking the ride?
Well, all I've seen is like Twitter hot gossip, and is like, could they move? Because Austin Cindric's going to the 21. I think that's a done deal. Could Matt DiBenedetto go to the 2? Matty D doesn't deserve it. Said it. Is Matty D is winless. Everybody's a feel good story, but he doesn't have the stats to back it up. So that's another one where I'm like, eh. But if they didn't take Matty D over to the 2, which would be weird, but I could also see it happening. I'm kind of on the fence about it. Everybody loves Matty D, but it's like, that's a big time ride to fill. Is Matty D the guy you want? And it's like, well, if it's not Matty D, who is it?
Who is it? That's my thing.
Who is it?
I don't think Nathan's totally wrong there. I don't know. I don't think Matty D is going to be competing for championships regardless of the equipment. I'm just going to be honest. And I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, then I'll admit that, because I think he seems like a really cool guy. Like, I'd love for him to succeed. That being said, I haven't seen enough out of him to see that, but maybe I'm wrong.
It's that, like, I mean, he was nowhere at Dover, but a couple weeks ago at Talladega, we were talking about how he was leading the white flag. And
granted, it's Talladega, though.
It's Talladega, but I'm saying he has these one-off runs where it's like, there's the speed we want. He was so close to winning.
Right. That's right.
And it's always, he was so close to winning.
I'm not saying he's a bad driver either. Like, I've seen really good stuff out of him. But if it's not him, who is it? I think that's the point. Do you put him in there for a season, maybe 2, to see if like you got somebody else in the pipeline? Just because right now, like, I'm not sure.
Does Discount Tire sponsor the 2, or are they sponsoring Brad K? Like, I know it's a Penske sponsorship, but like, would they stay on board if they bring Matty D over? Is Matty D bringing sponsorship? Is Matty D getting the car at all? Do they say like back
I don't think Matty D is bringing any sponsorship. Yeah. I think that's been an issue for him the whole time, and that's an issue for everybody in middle to lower tier equipment. I'm not saying that's just on him, but I don't think he's bringing.
Do they back up and punt and rearrange some contracts? I don't know how the fuck this works, but say they take Austin Cindric, let's go ahead and put Austin in the 2, and Matty D just stay right where he is in the 21. I don't think that's how that works, but that's just a wild shot. We're all shooting from the hip here.
That might be the best move, though.
Yeah.
I mean, if they have the final decision on all of those deals, it might be the best. It might be the best move, because I think Cindric is going to be the better driver. Or do you kind of switch them back and forth depending on who's performing better? Like, do you put Matty D in there just for a little bit because he has more experience and see how Cindric does in the 21 and just see?
I haven't even really started to think about silly season yet.
I know. This is forcing me to
it's
think
always
about it.
Every year it seems like it starts earlier and earlier, and we're already like shooting off here.
I can't believe we're already talking silly season.
I don't even know really who's in a 1-year deal right now, or who's got a contract year going on. But is there someone else we're not seeing? Someone from Xfinity? Someone that's what I'm thinking. Someone who's in a contract in another ride that we could fill this 2 ride with.
That's right. And I feel like usually I keep up with it better come silly season. I'll know the drivers that people are talking about. But I just usually there isn't a surprise to me. Usually I'm like, these are the guys from Xfinity that they're getting looked at. Like I know these are the guys that they're going to pull up. It just depends on where they're going. Like last season, we knew or was that last season, 2 seasons ago? When like Tyler Reddick came in, like that freshman class, everybody knew who was getting pulled up. You know what I mean? And we were just like, where are they going to go? So it'll be interesting. Yeah, that's a whole nother, man, we could do a whole episode about that. We'll need to do some more research.
We ought to like in the off season save, like, let's talk who isn't signed, who is signed.
We're going to do a hard silly season. That's all we're going to have to talk about in the off season. So we'll get really big into that, but moving on to other headlining news. Before we get to the hot topic of this episode, the top 5 bucket list races that we want to attend to. But moving on to headlines in the news, I think we got one more good topic to discuss, something about North Wilkesboro, Rockingham,
So
possibly.
I'm sure I'll get corrected in the comments here. I'm
Oh,
going to
100%.
fire off on what
Nathan's
I
in the
saw.
comments, so you know we're getting correct.
It's a constant weekly battle with that little buddy. So the governor of North Carolina throws out this wild shit, and the news is reporting it, that there's this bill introduced that Biden's just throwing all this money at every state and whatever Biden bucks, and that they're getting COVID relief or business relief and state relief, all this other shit. And that the governor said it's like billions and shit for every state or something. And the governor's like, hey, I'm going to take $10 million a piece and I'm going to donate it to Charlotte, North Wilkesboro, and Rockingham. And everybody's like, what? Whatever. Like, I guess that's even South Carolina, the Carolinas. They're like,
well, they're two different states, so
we don't even go to those tracks. They talked about donating. I don't know. Donating the money to those tracks. I don't know if he's trying to get reelected. What's going on there?
100%.
But it was like, hey, yo, he said North Wilkesboro and Rockingham. Like, let's fucking go, dude. If you're getting $10 million, that's new grandstands right there. I'd imagine. I don't book this stuff.
Yeah. So that's a good question.
We need burnout contests and pit road challenges.
Yeah, I think at that point he's just like, I mean, Charlotte's their biggest draw,
the motherland.
So he's probably like, if we're giving money to tracks, like we need to start putting more shit into Charlotte.
What if Charlotte gets like a Phoenix Daytona revamp? You know, a fan interaction zone.
Yeah,
and
I mean, why not? If you're throwing money at
Wi-Fi
places
and stuff.
Yeah. So, as a person that has worked in politics, I don't know when his election is, but this is definitely some shit. This is definitely some shit that you mention when you want to get reelected. I don't know. I don't even know if he's Republican or Democrat, but I can almost guarantee he's Republican based on this move. And he's looking at his voter demographic and he's like, NASCAR. It's North Carolina. He's probably conservative. Like I said, if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I imagine he's Republican and he's running North Carolina for reelection. And so he's like,
I'm surprised he didn't say I'm giving Bubba Wallace $10 million.
But here's the deal. If I lived in North Carolina, I'm voting for him. If he's like, hey, you vote for me again, and I'm opening up North Wilkesboro, I'm opening up Rockingham, we're going to add shit to Charlotte, I would be like, okay, yeah, I don't care what party you're part of. Just fucking give me that shit. So genius move on his part politically. But I think the more exciting thing to talk about is this going to lead to NASCAR maybe going to both tracks, maybe one?
I think nothing's off the table. Like the way we're talking about iRacing, street courses and shit. I mean, at this point, if the fucking government's talking about giving a racetrack money, what's that? How's that going to hold NASCAR back from being like, ew? I mean, all they need is a Dale Jr. tweet, and that bitch is open. So, I mean, I totally see. I like what I'm seeing. We have Marcus.
Okay.
We have Marcus Lemonis already saying he's donating money. We have the governor saying they're donating money. What's he going to take to get these bitches revamped? I honestly think it's almost like Junior's like lost racetrack shows sparked all these interest in the like, hey, if we can put dirt on Bristol, we can do any fucking thing. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think if the government's going to put money into it and invest in all that stuff, in your NASCAR, like, why not? I understand you have a limited schedule, so you got to figure it out. But we've seen that NASCAR is totally willing to fuck with their schedule right now. Like they seem totally open to whatever. And I think pretty much every NASCAR fan has been on board, except Nathan, been on board with those two tracks coming back to the schedule. And if they want to like fuck with trucks and Xfinity first to see how it works, I mean,
they straight sacrificed to Chicago and tag teamed Kentucky in front of all of us. They beheaded Chicago on its knees in front of the whole community at the neck. Like one of our best mile and a halves, they said, "Go fuck yourself. We're going to Dakota." And like they literally are not scared to just give a wild schedule. Like this schedule already we talked earlier in the year is like this schedule's nuts. I think next year is about to be fucking wild.
Yeah, I mean, I think just the point is like they're willing to try shit, which is cool, which is something the fans have been asking for forever. It's like, let's mix it up, let's try some shit. How about we add North Wilkesboro and Rockingham when they're fixed up, and stop with the stupid idea about driving through a fucking parking lot in Chicago because it sounds dumb.
I think the city course is almost yet but done. They're just finding out where to do it.
It sounds so stupid. I was making jokes about it when
even though we haven't even gone there yet. But if you're gonna give me a city course, take one of them other motherfuckers off. Like, let's not go to all these and go to the city course. Sacrifice one of your road courses, Sonoma, for this city course idea.
Yeah, because what are they going to take up the schedule for that? Have they mentioned?
And I'm super nervous. Like, look, I know there's another ongoing battle with the NASCAR community of every track should have one date. La-di-da-di-da. Well, there's 2 tracks, or actually 3, that I don't agree should have one date. I think Daytona should have 2. I like that idea. I think Talladega should have 2 forever. And I think Bristol should have 2. I could see Bristol getting the chop, but they got this dirt idea. It's keeping it going. But if you take away my Talladega date, I'm going to burn somebody's fucking house down.
I'm okay with tracks having multiple. I mean, as long as it's like a good track, like Miami should have multiple. I think Kansas should have multiple. Like, there's a lot of tracks that I like.
There was only like 13 tracks, and they like doubled up dates, and it was kind of like, okay, but I liked it because it was like, well, one time you went in the spring and one time you went in the fall. It's a completely different track. Like, the track's different temperature, different setting, like it's different. But then I get it. Okay, well, let's go to different tracks. The only thing I see is the more tracks we add, the more dates we take away from some of our passionate tracks we love to go to.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think I'm okay with tracks having multiple dates. This has only kind of become a recent thing where everybody's like, oh, this track only needs one. This track only needs one. I feel like it used to be kind of out of the ordinary for a track to only have one date. Yeah. Most tracks had 2. And so it was kind of cool that only a few of them had a one date. And you're like, you got to go this time to see it, Darlington. And so that was kind of cool. So I've always been okay with tracks having multiple dates. I don't know why this is like a new thing. I get it that we want to add new shit, but if adding new shit means we're going to be in a parking lot in a fucking outside of a stadium in Chicago, I don't care. I don't want to see that. I think it sounds so dumb. I think it sounds as dumb as Nathan thinks North Wilkesboro is dumb. And this is the opinion he will die with. So I think the idea is that North Wilkesboro is just like so historical for NASCAR.
It's almost like a throwback weekend, but like for real in 3D.
I mean, that area is like diehard NASCAR. That's like I have family in that area. I'd rather them revamp
North Wilkesboro than go race in some fucking city street somewhere.
Right, and that's my point is, Nathan, I agree. Maybe North Wilkesboro is a little overhyped. I think I would agree with you there. But I have family in that area. I mean, they live and breathe NASCAR. I feel like that's where they need to put a race back to. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't care that North Carolina and South Carolina will have like a majority of the races. Like, I don't care. That's where people fucking love NASCAR. Put it there.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And the governor is probably going to win re-election. Apparently, he's a Democrat, as Nathan said. Yeah, I agree.
Yes, thank you.
At least we can agree there, Nathan. North Wilkesboro over racing outside the Chicago Cubs. I don't know. I don't know where they're doing it. It's going to be outside of a stadium, and it's going to be dumb. I mean,
we might as well put fucking jumps on the track while we're at it. Like, at this point, like, put a goddamn
let's just go to a rallycross race. Which rallycross is fucking tight. They used to run them here in Austin, and I would win every year.
Its own thing. I don't want
to. I went to rallycross every year. Jumps. Right, and it's, I just don't. It's not for NASCAR. Like, let's stop pretending that NASCAR is all these other racing series. NASCAR is not open wheel. NASCAR, it's a stock car. Granted, it's not stock, but this is stock car racing. Let's just fucking treat it like that. Let's stop pretending that it's something it's not. What are we gonna do next? Like drag strips? I mean, it's getting out of hand.
Yeah, I mean, dude. We're already going to Dakota this weekend. I'm very rarely excited. Like, I was like, this is the one new track this year that I'm actually like super stoked for. Because I
don't
literally
understand.
didn't even know.
I don't understand why you're stoked
I didn't
for this
even
track.
know about the layout till like a week ago. I was like, holy fuck, yeah, this got like 20 turns. The uphill, downhill. I'm like, okay. Like, to me, this looks way cooler than Sonoma. But, like, I don't give a flying fuck about Road America. I'm not really excited about that one. Whatever fucking other racetrack they're going to, I don't care for that one either. This is the one new track. I'm really excited to see like what happens here. Could we see a Chase Elliott fest? Could we see some new winner? I have no idea. I think it's gonna be a race of attrition because these guys are gonna be lost as shit. Maybe.
All right. Well, we got one more topic to discuss, and then we'll go into Coda because it sounds like me and you have completely different opinions on Coda, and it's funny because I'm actually the one in Austin. So let's go over what this whole episode is going to be about. The main topic for the episode, the meat, is the top 5 bucket list races.
Oh, you dog,
NASCAR races. So
is it just NASCAR?
Just NASCAR.
Okay.
Yeah. So not tracks, but specifically the race, as we discussed in the last episode.
Bucket list items we haven't been to.
Yeah. So, for instance, if you've been to, we've both been to all the Talladegas, but just for instance, you've been to Talladega, but maybe hadn't have been to the spring or the fall, so you could count that. So it's just a race. It's not just the track. It's specifically what race you want to attend. We can do honorable mentions. That's fine, and then we'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 up to our number 1.
Ooh,
and
is it past or present with this new schedule?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Either one. But
deal.
I mean, they still have to run the race though, because if it's bucket list, you need to be able to go attend. You know what I mean?
It's gonna stay on my list.
How would it be a bucket list then? You'll never be able to attend.
Number 5.
Are you going to do any honorable mentions? Anything? Or just straight into your 5? I have a couple honorable mentions. You don't have to.
I have honorable mention.
All right, so you'll start out. You can do your honorable mentions and then do all 5 years, and then I'll do mine as well. So
we're gonna go 5 and 5.
I'll crack another beer for this.
Ooh, this is my last one. So starting with honorable mentions. Auto Club is my honorable mention. I've never want to go to California really ever in my life, but Auto Club is really seasoned into a great racetrack. I always wanted to go there and see a race in person. Never wanted to go to California really, but for the racing I saw there and for its soon to be destined demise, it would have been cool to see just one race in person there. Honorable mention.
That's your honorable mention? Okay. You want to get into your top 5?
I'll start with my number 5.
Here we go. At
number 5,
that's the drums.
I'd honestly put a race at Dover. I'd put a race at Dover. I guess they only have one date now. They only have one date now.
Shit, that's right. That's right.
But like, it's just like an oversized Bristol. I see people's videos and pictures. It always kind of looked cool. I know we just went there, but like, Dover's kind of one like where like we thought like I wouldn't like pay the money and drive my ass up there. But if someone was like, "Hey man, I got you a spot, or you can come stay with me,"
right? We discussed that last episode. Yeah,
I would totally do it. Dover's my number 5.
Wow, that's a big one. I think that was a surprise. I wasn't expecting Dover. I thought maybe an honorable mention, but wow, number 5.
I probably could change out that in Auto Club, maybe. I don't know. We're just gonna go.
That's fine. Okay, number 4.
Wait, I thought you were doing 5.
No, you do your top 5.
Oh,
then I'll do my top 5.
Oh,
yeah, you go all the way through, and then I'll do mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 4 is gonna be Homestead.
Okay.
Race at Homestead.
Makes sense.
Literally, we talked a couple years, me and Nathan and Justin and stuff. We talked about like, dude, we got to get the championship race at Homestead. We got it. And literally, we could fly down there cheap, or fuck it, we'll drive. I wouldn't drive. We'd fly down there. But it's like, dude, man, a Homestead race is iconic. I always wanted to go to a championship weekend, like a championship weekend.
Back when it was the championship, yeah.
Yes, and man,
was this the one that you were asking if it could be past or present?
No, and we were always talking about going to a championship race weekend there, but even now it's not. Is like, well, I'm less likely to want to fly down there, but I'm scared to death they'll take it off schedule. But as good as it's been getting, I think it's going to stay. But
they
like,
can't take it off.
no,
I
but
mean, it's
Homestead's
so
been
good.
so good, and I always want to go Champ Race, but Homestead is one I've like, I want to go there and like spend a week in Miami and go to the race. Like, that'd be so cool.
Hell yeah. Yeah, great location, great racing. Yeah, definitely. All right, number 3.
Number 3, I could probably. All right, I'm gonna stick with my original thought. Number 3, I always fucking wanted to go to the Brickyard 400 at the Oval at Indy. That was the one I said as a past or present. And I literally last year said, next year I'm going to the fucking Brickyard. I don't care. I'll fly, I'll drive. I'm going to the Brickyard. And they literally changed it to the road course. And I said, I'm not going to that fucking dumbass race. I literally was like,
That's
that was
fair.
the one.
I'll allow the Brickyard 400. That's a good
always
one.
wanted to go because I was like, I'd like to check off all the crown jewels. Like,
Maybe they'll bring it back. I mean,
I was like, I want to check off the crown jewels. And I always wanted to do that. And like, that was one of them in my eyes. My heart as a young 2000s race fan was like, I want to go to the Brickyard. That'd be super cool.
Right.
Tony Stewart used to kill it. Jeff Gordon used to kill it there. I know people, this new generation kind of thought it was stale and boring, but I always appreciated the Brickyard. And now it's gone. So I'm kind of like, well, that sucks. I guess I'm never going to Indy. I'm not going for a fucking road course.
right. I agree.
So, or Roval, whatever. That was my number 3.
Damn, we're getting into the top 2.
Yeah, I'm kind of tossing up here because I'm like, oh fuck. Ooh, this one's a toughie. I'm gonna say. All right, I know what it is. Number 2. Well, shit. All right, number 2. I feel like I feel like I should have had a different number 4 and 5. I'll have another honorable mention.
That's fine. You can go back and do another honorable
All right,
mention.
I'll do another honorable mention. Just missed the top 5. Number 2 is gonna be.
Why don't you what's your honorable mention? You just throw it out right now because it'll hype up your 1 and 2.
I have 2 2s. I have 2 number 2s.
You can't do 2 number 2s. This
2 number
bullshit.
2s. I have a 2.
You can't do 2 number 2s.
Honorable mention. All right, number 2, Michigan. I've always wanted to go to Michigan. It's the Northern Talladega.
Number 2. Wow.
It always seemed fun as fuck. And the honorable mention for this that I had to sacrifice was Watkins Glen. I always wanted to go to Watkins Glen because I've never been to a road course race, and I hear it's fucking wild there too. It just missed the cut. I don't know. It's in New York. That kind of bums me out. I don't ever want to go to New York. But as we roll off that honorable mention, number 1.
Oh, number 1.
A track I've never been to. It's on the bucket list. I've postponed it like 4 years in a row due to like lack of friends going and like just bullshit.
Texas.
COVID is Martinsville. Never been to Martinsville. Always wanted to go. Always wanted to go to the fall race.
Which
Springer School.
The night race?
I'm gonna say the fall race, the playoff race. I've always wanted to go to Martinsville. Never been. Maybe I'll go this year. Maybe I'll go next year. For the last 4 years, I said this year I'm going to Martinsville.
Not the night race.
No, the night race is in the spring.
Yeah, but still.
Well, I feel like the playoff
Under the lights?
I feel like the playoff race is going to be more bang for your buck because you're getting 3 races and it's the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The playoffs, you got all those highlights. The spring race, you got.
Sometimes at least for me, the playoffs watching from home and keeping up with it is fun. But in terms of like going to a race, I'm kind of like, I don't care at that. I just want to watch a good race, have a good time. That's the same thing with
Talladega fall race is I'm so into the points and what's going on and who's got to do what. But when you're at the race, you can't keep up with that shit.
Yeah,
like, you're just watching the race.
I want a good race.
What happened after?
Yeah.
So like the playoff Talladega race, when you're there, you're like, I'll find out when I get home or on the ride home.
Right, because you're not keeping up with it. Yeah, 100%.
All right,
okay.
Let's roll on yours.
Well, you want to recap yours? Are you even able to, since you just kind of winged
I'm
it?
absolutely able to. Honorable mention was Auto Club and Watkins Glen. Honorable mentions, I'd love to go to those races. We'll never go to those races. Maybe I'll go Watkins Glen one day. But Auto Club, I'll never see. Maybe a future short track. That's one that's going to be in the future honorable mention. Number 5 was Dover. Good old big wannabe short track. Number 4. What did I say?
Oh, man.
Number 4, I said Homestead. I said Homestead. I've always wanted to go to the champ race, and I'd go to Homestead. I still think that Homestead's more doable than Dover in my eyes. Number 3, I always want to go to Brickyard. Fuck Roval racing. It's only good at Charlotte.
Brickyard 400.
Yeah, I wanted to go to the Brickyard 400. Number 2 was Michigan, my Northern Talladega, my Yankee friends. Help me out, my stock car spectacle boys. Number 1 was Martinsville. Never been to Martinsville. It's my number 1 bucket list race. I'll fucking go up there by myself if I have to. I'm going to go to Martinsville one day.
Yeah. So that's a good list. Yeah, I agree with everything you said pretty much.
I could have subbed Michigan for Watkins Glen. Those two were like
okay. So yeah, differ. Just kind of in order, but pretty much agree with everything you said. The difference is you've been to a lot more races or different races than me.
I may have been to some on your bucket list.
You have. I think you've been to quite a few. I think. I don't know. Actually, we'll see.
Maybe I can give my 2 cents on how they are.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to.
That would be great. These are the races that I've always wanted to attend. Just whenever I talk to a NASCAR fan and they're like, "What races do you want to go to?" I'm like, "These are the ones I want to go to." I don't know if I'll be able to make them this year, but eventually, these are the races I'm getting to. Yeah, exactly.
That's one thing. Is like, well, I could go to this race, but I'm gonna have to sacrifice one of my normal races to go to these races.
Exactly, and it's like so much further. You're gonna spend more money. So when it comes down to it, you're like, I mean, I could just go to my normal races that I do every year. I could just go to Atlanta.
I could just go to Texas. It's like,
or
I could not go to those and go to this race.
Right. So yeah, it's a little bit different. In the last episode, I listed off the best cities to live if you're a NASCAR fan, because I live in Austin, and although we have a fucking race right down the road this weekend, so not a good example.
How far is the track from your house?
It's pretty far. They built it way outside the city. We can. I mean, shit. You know what? I'll get more into that.
All right.
I'll get more into that when we talk about Coda.
Itching for gossip.
Yeah, I'll give you some gossip on it. So my honorable mentions, I actually have them written down because I come prepared every episode, unlike Dakota.
Yeah, you do.
Honorable mentions, I would say Las Vegas, just because it's Las Vegas.
Ooh, I mean, man, that one could have made the cut.
Right. Michigan, as you mentioned, I've heard it's a really fun place to go.
That's your honorable mention?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I said, you've been to more like races than me, so I have some shit on here that I'm sure you've been to. So I gotta. Yeah.
Okay,
anyway, Michigan, heard it's a really fun track. Love to go, and it's one that isn't necessarily a bucket list track for me, at least on my top 5. But if I was doing a top 10, it would be on there. That kind of thing, where it's like it'd be fun if I could get the chance.
Down the road, these are like some races we need to be like, hey, next year, me and you, we're gonna meet in Michigan, and we're gonna fly up there.
That's true. We should
let's
put our lists together and how they're ranked, and be like, okay, which ones match up. We're going to go to this one this year. We don't have to do all of them right away, but we're going to start knocking these things off.
Yeah.
Michigan, heard it's fun. A lot of people up north love it. So give it a try. I think it's in, what town is it? Is it in Brooklyn, Michigan or something weird like that? Yeah. And then this one was just outside my top 5. And in my honorable mentions was Miami Homestead, as you mentioned. You're in Miami, so I mean, fucking awesome place to be, regardless.
Right.
With some of the best racing, in my opinion. I love the racing there. I mean, me just talking about it, I'm like, man, maybe this should have been on my top 5 because I would love to go to this race. And I think I put it right outside my top 5, probably just because it's not the championship race anymore. But either way, still be a great place to go. So number 5, Martinsville. Night race.
Okay.
I want to see it under the lights. I know you like the idea of the playoffs and all this stuff, and I'd like to see it under the lights. They added the lights. I think it'd be really cool. And obviously Martinsville, I think is a top track for any NASCAR fan to want to go to. So not much.
I'm surprised I haven't been, honestly. Like I'm like, why haven't I gone?
Yeah, that's one of those tracks, definitely. And I mean that's the one where it was just. I was like, I just want to go to this track, but I have to pick a race because we're doing like top races instead of just tracks. So that's what I picked. Can you hear my dogs barking?
I can.
Yeah. We're watching my brother's dog. We have, he has a hound dog.
They'll say it sounds like a blue tick hound or some shit.
Yeah, so we have 3 dogs in this apartment.
Damn, what a weekend to be watching dogs.
And one is a hound dog. So Martinsville, there you go. That's my number 5. Number 4. This one's probably maybe it's controversial. Speaking of which, Nathan says he'll never go there, is the Coca-Cola 600. I really want to go to the Coke 600. I know people don't like it. I've never been to the race. It's in Charlotte. It is the only 600, so it's the longest you're going to be able to watch a race. And I think it's, like celebrities go there. It's like like the Hollywood of NASCAR. It's like that's when people show up.
The Coke 600 on my list.
Why?
Because I'm going to it next weekend.
You son of a bitch.
No, so like I can't wait to go to my first 600 next week. It's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be awesome. But like I was thinking about it in my top 5. I was like, well, the Coke 600, but I'm like, well, I'm about to check that one off. So why don't I just like not count it and use some of these other juicy races I've always wanted to go to? But I can't wait to check Charlotte off. I've been outside the track. I've just never been to a race there.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, so it was going to be on your list, though. That's one that you were.
It would have made it, but I didn't count it because I'm about to check it off.
Okay. Yeah. So Coke 600.
Literally every year, like me and the boys have always been like, every year we need to check off a new race or a new track. Like, let's check off and let's go to some random race every year. And this year I'm lucky enough to get 2 in.
Yeah, that's badass.
Yeah.
Number 3. I think you'll like this pick. The Brickyard 400.
Ew, that was my number 3.
Yeah, I know. That's why.
Did you just add that, or was it already on?
No. That's why when you said, "Can we do the like throwback ones?" and I was like, my point was it still has to like technically be at the track. And
yeah. Dude,
so when you said that was your pick,
I
was like,
Indy.
When you said that was your pick, that's why I was like, I'll allow that one.
Yeah, I literally I was like, I need to go to the Brickyard before they get rid of it. And then they were like, hey, we're doing the road course. And I was like, well, I guess I'm never going to a Brickyard 400.
I get a lot of people, didn't like the race and all that. I just think just to be able to say that I went to the Brickyard 400 would have been cool. As a NASCAR fan, that's just one of those things. Yeah. Just one of those things that you can be like, have you been to the Daytona 500? Yes or no? Have you been to Talladega? And I just feel like the Brickyard 400 was one of those races, regardless of if you thought it was good racing the last couple of years.
Me out when they changed it to the road course.
Yeah. So
I'm not about it.
All right. Number 2, Bristol night race.
Maybe you can check that one off soon.
Maybe.
I like it. It is for any NASCAR racing fan, it is a must go to. Yeah. I put that it is if you're just starting out, if you've always gone and never been to this track, that is a race you should go to.
Yeah. So I mean, oh shit, fake hype. Interesting. Hot take.
For Bristol or Indy?
I don't know. I assume he's talking about for Bristol.
Nathan's one of those new age fans who doesn't appreciate the good old days.
Well, he's just a contrarian. He likes to just argue for the sake of arguing.
That is the perfect word. Whatever the hell that is. That's Nathan.
Contrarian. Yeah. Controversial. Is contrary to popular opinion.
Oh God.
So I just think if you're a NASCAR fan, there is 3 tracks or races, whichever one that you have to go to at some point, and it's like Daytona 500, Talladega, and Bristol, preferably the night race. So no surprise, I think, to anybody that it is my number 2. Should be obvious. And then my number 1. You ready for this? It should be obvious. I think you
just said it.
Yeah. The Daytona 500. I have not been to the Daytona 500. It surprises a lot of people when I'm like, yeah, I'm a NASCAR fan. And they're like, oh, man, is the Daytona 500 fun? I'm sure it is, man. I don't fucking know. Is the Super Bowl fun? Is the World Series fun? Oh, fuck you, man. Sorry, I haven't been.
We were describing our best races or whatever with Dale Earnhardt. Is the Daytona 500, man. I went to my first one in 2016 with Nathan, the contrarian, and I went to my second one in 2020, and then I went to the 2021 500. And literally, when I went in 2020, I was making, because I've always gone to the July, now August race in Daytona. It's just a no-brainer, Daytona, baby. But I was when I was always young, I was always thought, it's Daytona 500. I can't even afford to go to that. It's crazy. Right. It's a Super Bowl. But now, like, I'm a grown ass man. I'm like, dude, yeah, like I can go Daytona 500. And then now
You just
I'm
gotta
like,
prepare. You gotta plan it out.
Yeah, it's all about planning. And I've got my shit together with these race tickets. And I'm like, I think till the day I die, I'm going to try to go to the Daytona 500.
Right.
Like, I've already got 2022 tickets lined up. And, like, I want to go to Daytona 500 every year. I don't give a fuck what I got to do. I'm going to go. And it's worth it. It's totally worth it. You don't go and be like, oh, yeah, I should have come to this shit. Like, it is worth it every fucking time.
That's one that me and you like definitely need to work out. Like, I know you're gonna always go, so I just need to figure out how.
You say the word, and you'll have a ticket lined up.
Yeah, well,
we're trying to work out the staying thing. That's the whole thing.
You drive down from Atlanta?
Yeah, it's like 6 hours.
Okay, yeah. So I could possibly fly to Atlanta, or just fly to like Orlando, probably Jacksonville. Maybe I don't know.
Airport across the backstretch of Daytona.
Yeah, but that's probably expensive, don't you think?
Orlando's an hour from Daytona.
A small, that's what I'm saying. It's probably like Orlando, probably the cheapest.
I don't know. I mean, like, what's the difference of an hour?
Well, the smaller the airport, usually the more expensive it is to fly there. Yeah. So the bigger the airport, like Atlanta, you can always find.
Because I drive through Jacksonville to get to Daytona.
Jacksonville would work. Yeah. Any major city, it's cheaper to go to. Like the bigger the airport, like Atlanta, you can find flights.
I have to like drive past Daytona to get to Orlando.
Oh yeah, no, fuck that.
So like,
we'll work it out. That's the one that we need to work out. Was Bristol Night Race? Was Bristol Night Race on your list?
No, because I go every year.
Oh, that's right. What was the next one that we both had? Brickyard 400. We clearly can't do that.
Brickyard 400. My number
Coke
2
600. You're about to go there.
I'm about to go
honorable mentions though. We both. Martinsville. We would just have to decide on night or playoff. But like I said, honestly, I don't care. Just to be able to go to Martinsville would be tight.
I would go to either. I just
same.
I like if I had to pick.
I just had to pick one. I thought I like night races. I like the idea of going to a night race. And then, of course, yes, you are invited. Obviously,
where does Chris live? Where's he close to? Daytona,
Ohio.
Oh yeah, so Martinsville's not even far from him.
Yeah, so everybody's invited. Come on, we like to party. Everybody come.
That Fall Dega is where it's going to be at.
So yeah, just to recap, honorable mentions: Las Vegas, Michigan, Miami, Homestead. And then 5 up to 1 was Martinsville Night Race, Coke 600, Brickyard 400 RIP, Bristol Night Race, and Daytona 500. Those are my bucket list is a lot more exciting than my favorite races I've attended. My favorite races I attended was like Talladega, Darlington, Talladega, Kansas. Like that's what I go to. So
that's one thing I was like, I feel like people are probably like, dude, you missed this race and this race. And I'm like, well, I've been to those.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, Chris, I remember you mentioning you were just at the Darlington race, and everybody should listen to our other episode where we go over our favorite races that we've attended. Right? Isn't that what we did? The segment we did?
We did our favorite races to go to, like must go to because we've been there.
The must go tos, yeah. And Darlington was on both of our lists. I mean, that's
throwback definitely next year.
We love it. Yeah.
Throwbacks.
So anyway, that wraps up that segment. But to wrap up the episode,
what's your number 1?
I said Daytona 500.
Yeah, that's right. I was high when I said that.
Yeah, so to wrap up the episode, I just want to discuss COTA real quick and then kind of go over our picks. COTA this weekend. Sounds like you are excited about this race.
Dude, and I'm really I'm not really hot on all these new races. Bristol Dirt changed my
Very
mind.
odd. I would not expect you to be excited about that.
It's something about I don't know, Dakota. I don't know. Is it looks cool, man. It's got all these crazy twists and turns, uphill, downhill. It's a F1 track. That's off the wall. It's Texas, baby. A lot of friends are going. You're going to be there, gathering intel. Is man, this one seems cool. Indy Road Course, could give 2 shits about. I don't even give a fuck about that. Road America, don't give a flying fuck. I don't even care if they go there. Some of these tracks, I'm like, whatever. Take Sonoma off. I don't give a shit. But this one, I'm like, okay, let's see what's going on.
So you think it's going to be a good race?
I think it's going to be a good race. And as much as I want to go against the favorable odds of Chase Elliott, the road course king, I think we might see a new winner. Oh,
I was going to say, we're going to get into picks at the end.
I'm just saying, No, I'm just saying I think we might see
Hold your pick.
a wild card winner here. I think something crazy could happen. I think we could see crazy wrecks, or everybody's tame and timid like the Daytona road course and just like everybody minds their business and just tries to stay on the surface.
Yeah, so I said back when this was even a rumor that NASCAR at COTA, which this is how much I don't want to see it, because they were even mentioning
the closest
the idea,
race to you ever in your life, and you don't want to see it.
Exactly. Even just them rumoring it, I was like, don't do it. It sounds stupid. Don't do it. So that's how much I'm not excited about the actual race itself. Yeah, like, I'm excited for the weekend, seeing everybody, having a good time. Austin's a fun city, even though the track's like fucking 40 minutes away. It'll be a fun time. But when it comes to the actual race, I'm like not that excited about it, which sounds terrible. I've never not been excited about the actual race for NASCAR. You've never attended a road course, right?
Nope.
So I've never attended a NASCAR road course, but I have attended racing at this track, and it just kind of sucks, man. Like, you're in the grandstand and there's multiple, right, in different locations. Yeah. So you just kind of see the cars every once in a while.
I just feel like you see them like, oh, and you're like, oh,
exactly.
He passed that car in front of him.
It's not that fun to like watch. I don't know why F1 fans pay thousands of dollars to go to these races. It's not that fun to watch at the track. And more importantly, I mean, like you said, the track was built for F1. I do not think it is conducive to stock car racing. I mean, turn one is just going to be detrimental. I don't understand.
Totally see it being like restarts are nuts, but then it just gets super duper spread out to where like cars are 20 lengths apart and everybody's just riding around.
Well, yeah, and who's going to want to try to make these passes when they have these crazy angled turns coming up?
And NASCAR Twitter is going to lose their mind and bitch about it being boring and this and that. But then I also think there could be some calamity and guys spinning off the corners and shit. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I don't know if there's even going to be wrecks. I think it's just going to be like, especially on turn one, people just going straight off. I mean, I don't think it's going to be exciting. I think it's going to be I think it's going to be our first like legit boring race this year. And I'm not excited about the race.
I'm happy they're having practice and qualifying, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm happy they're having practice and qualifying.
But they could be anywhere else and be doing that too. I'm not excited. I don't think this track is good. I find F1 racing boring as shit. And one of the reasons I find F1 racing so boring is because there's no passing. I mean, there's no passing for the lead. That's for damn sure. Yeah. And one of the reasons there's no passing is because there's so many tight turns, that you can't make the passes. You know what I mean? So
it looks like it's a lot of long, like windy corners, and then like a bunch of fucking sharp apex 90s. Like, holy shit!
Right. And I mean, they're gonna pretty much be they're gonna be going like what 5 miles an hour trying to make these damn turns. I don't get it. I hope I'm wrong. I am totally willing to admit in this next episode after the race that I was wrong, and I'll be happy about that because I'll be like, hell yeah, we had a good race in Austin. I'm gonna go every year. I was wrong. I don't think I'm wrong.
Just be happy you'll be there, bro. You'll be your third.
That's what I said. I'm happy. I'm happy for the weekend.
Can you imagine you be going to 3 races already?
Damn, that's a good point. Yeah. Like, I'm happy for the weekend. I'm happy to be seeing people. People from my work are going. Like, it's just gonna be a good time. 100%. But when the race starts, I'm gonna be like, okay, I think I'd rather watch it on TV. And usually when I'm at like Talladega or even at Atlanta, Texas, which everybody hates, which by the way, maybe that should be on everybody's bucket list because as you know, races are way better when you actually attend it.
That's one thing I'm like, I mean, Texas could have even made my honorable mentions is as much as like the remake has kind of put on some weird fucking boring shows is like, I'm sure it's more fun in person. I'm sure the facility's great is like, I would love to check Texas off.
It's actually fun. A lot of people go, it's a good environment. Everybody's, barbecuing and like tailgating.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's fun. It is a fun time. And everybody hates Texas. And I get it because like the races aren't very good. But I just don't hate it like other people do. I think because I go. And I'm like, I have a great time. Right. And the racing does look better when you're watching it on the track, as you know. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so I've never been that bored with Texas because I go and I watch it. But yeah,
it's like Atlanta, man. People give Atlanta a bad.
Exactly, 100%. Me and you walked away being like,
it was wild.
this is such a good race. And everybody's like, worst race of the year. So Texas is just like that. Honestly, when you go watch it, it's so much more fun. And I just think COTA is going to be one of those tracks where it's the opposite, where I'm going to watch it and be like, man, this race sucks. I can't see shit. And you're going to be like texting me being like, this is a pretty good race.
Dude, you see that move on turn 17?
No, I didn't. Send me a fucking clip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently Chris says it's really hard track to run on iRacing. So there you go. I mean, one thing you did ask me is, it's like 40 minutes or whatever outside the city. Is a big deal kind of with the track. When they built it, cost, I don't know, billions of dollars, you know. City paid for the whole thing. So all my goddamn taxes paid for that thing. And they built it like 45 minutes outside the city, like way outside the city, out in the middle of nowhere, not just like in Atlanta where it's like a town outside Atlanta. No, it's out in the country, kind of like Talladega, but they hype it up as Austin. So people come into Austin and they're like, oh, we'll take an Uber or something to get out there. It's like, no, you won't. Like, it's expensive. So you get out there. I don't like the setup of the track. They have a music venue. It sucks. I mean, it's just kind of a letdown of a track, in my opinion.
I'm wondering. I mean, I don't know anything about COTA, but it's like I wonder if there's gonna be like a cool tailgating experience or like people camping and partying, or is it gonna be like the everybody's going back to Austin for the nightlife afterwards. Like,
I think everyone's gonna go back because there's parking. There's like grass parking, but it's pretty far away. Like you got to walk quite a ways, and I just don't. It's not set up for that. It's set up for F1. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like when I've gone to
those fans do.
When I've gone to races, we park, walk in, leave, go home. Like I've never seen tailgates or anything there. So I don't think it's set up for that. And on top of that, F1. I know this isn't an F1 podcast, but I guess I'll bring it up because we're talking about COTA. F1 is gonna be running in Miami. Now, Miami did it right. They're doing a street course through Miami.
As much as they're not just bitched about street courses.
Yeah, but for F1, I mean, that makes sense. That's what they run.
Yeah, them doing street courses. I'm like, yeah, that's appropriate.
That's what they should be doing. So they're going to be going to Miami, which makes sense for F1. Super international city, you know, fun place to go. And Miami was smart because they didn't build a track. They're just running through the city. So very smart there. But now the rumors are coming out of like, they might not be going back to COTA. The contract is coming up, and apparently COTA might be filing for bankruptcy. So I think that's a big reason why we're getting NASCAR to this
go there
track.
while we can. You know,
they're trying to. I mean, so I think that's why they're getting NASCAR there. It's kind of a mess. Like the whole thing. But then
what happens? Does the track deteriorate and just sit out there in the desert? Do they just do practice test sessions out there? Does like Ferrari buy it and do fucking track demos? I mean, I don't know.
I think they'll keep it going just because it's in Austin, But it's, and they put so much money behind it. I don't see it just falling apart, but it is a weird situation right now with that track. I work with somebody that used to work there. So like, I know there's some weird shit going on at that track.
Inside scoop.
Oh yeah. So let's wrap it up with our picks. Do you want to do at the line?
Boy, I'm about to hit you with some fucking facts. Are you ready? Because we're going to do one-on-one at the line picks for COTA. You're going to love this one. Let's get it. Starting off the round of at the line, before we skipped it, this one might be a little juicy. I got Kurt Busch or Christopher Bell. Who you got?
Okay. You know what? Christopher Bell, 100%. He has a road course win. But
I feel like he kind of fell into that one. I don't know. He passed Joey Logano on the last lap.
And Kurt Busch hasn't shown me anything this season. No, I think Christopher Bell could be. I think he could be a threat. He just needs to get back into it.
I say it because Kurt Busch was leading with like 7 to go at Daytona road course, and he spun out all on his own and shit.
Yeah, and who won?
Christopher Bell won after everybody spun out. Here's another one.
He still won. I disagree. I think Christopher Bell is a real threat to win here. He might be coming up in my conversation later. What do you think?
Well, he was dog trash at Dover, so it's kind of hard to fall off. I could see him totally getting like a 9th place here. Kurt Busch showed some speed at Dover and ended up P14. I really don't know. I think it's going to be a war of attrition. I think Gibbs has got over Ganassi speed, so I will go with the 20 of Christopher Bell over Kurt Busch.
Yeah, it's
next round.
He hasn't done shit this season.
A
Too bad.
little spicy here. Kyle Larson or Joey Logano?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Man, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I really want to say Kyle Larson because he's just been impressing me so much this year. But I'm gonna have to go with my boy Joey Logano.
Joey's it's a road guy course. That he can be P15 all day, and all of a sudden with 3 to go, he's leading.
Exactly. I can see him as a potential winner. I
can see him winning.
I think Logano
is a better road course wins.
He's a better road course driver than Larson, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, I think Joey Logano. It's a road course. I'm going Joey Logano. Kyle Larson is one of the most talented drivers out there, no doubt. But when it comes to a road course, I don't know if I'm as confident.
True. For my next one.
Who do you got? Who'd you pick?
Oh, for those two?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Joey Logano got passed by Christopher Bell on strategy. I'm kind of basing everything off Daytona road course and past road course stats. Mm-hmm. Kyle Larson hasn't really done a lot, but Kyle Larson was also at the end and he spun himself out. Kyle Larson is hot as fuck this year, but Joey Logano is Joey Logano. Taking Kyle Larson off pure speed, just pure Hendrick's power this year.
And watch this. Larson will be leading the whole race, and then Joey Logano will pass him.
Yeah.
And actually get the win. And Larson will get second again. Yeah.
All right. Chase Elliott or Martin Truex Jr.?
Oh, man.
The Kings.
That is brutal.
The Kings.
You know what? I'm going Chase Elliott. I think Chase Elliott, this is the last week I'm picking him as a potential winner. This is it. If he fails me here at this road course that nobody else has ran a race on, I know people have tested there, but nobody's raced here yet. I mean, if he can't win here, I'm giving up on him until he shows me something else later on down the road. So I'm going Chase Elliott 100% here. I'm fully behind him. This is his chance to prove to me that he's doing it again this year. But that was just a mean one to fucking put those two up against each other.
I had to.
Because I'm probably wrong. Martin Truex Jr. probably is the better pick.
I feel like Chase Elliott could totally dominate this, or they could totally miss it by a landslide and not be up there. But another thing is, Martin Truex on these road courses is no sleeper, dude. He is right there.
No,
when Chase Elliott's winning, Martin Truex is second. And Martin Truex has a lot of road course wins himself.
When
they're on, they're on. When they're off, they're off. And then I'm like, well, Chase is kind of slowly plugging off these top 5s and 10s and stuff. But Truex has 3 wins. I think I'm gonna take Chase for the overall speed, but Truex with the consistency, and I'm gonna take Truex.
Yeah,
Truex to beat out Chase.
And by the way, what I mean is to win a race. I know Chase is still crushing it. He's gonna be in the playoffs. Yeah. He's gonna knock off wins 100%. But
it'll probably start this week.
Martin Truex Jr. has 3 wins. Chase has 0.
Got 3 in the
right now. I'm not saying that means one's better than the other necessarily, but right now, Martin Truex Jr. is much better. He has 3 wins. Chase has 0. So when it comes to making picks, I need Chase to show me he's going to get a win here if I'm picking against Martin Truex Jr. because that dude is dominating right now.
Round 4.
What's the next one?
AJ Allmendinger or Austin Cindric? The 16 and 33 one-off run cars.
Oh, my God. Oh.
Yeah. I'm shooting from the hip, too.
Cindric.
Ooh, ballsy, because I'm definitely taking AJ in that 16 college car. It's fucking AJ, dude. He's clearly gets it done in road courses. I totally see him being a top 7-8 car, or maybe get some pit road speed penalty somewhere in this damn thing. Austin Cindric, though, is Xfinity road course king. That 33 car showed speed back at Kansas, if you don't remember. So he
that's why I was going to mention it. I remember him
be up there.
Yeah, he's super talented, obviously, and he's good at road courses. So
I'm gonna take experience with AJ.
All right, washed up drivers, cool.
Oh, well, all right, cool.
Young hot gun, washed up. All right.
And I think this one might be a little good. I don't know, but while we're talking about Fords, I will say, we talked about him earlier. Brad Keselowski or his teammate Ryan Blaney?
Ryan Blaney. I think Blaney's better on road courses. Isn't
Blaney
he?
is a total sleeper on road courses, dude.
I'm pretty sure.
You remember
I'm trying to think of.
when he
I'm trying to think of
Chase
Brad
Elliott?
K on road courses, and I'm just.
Brad is like a 10th to a 13th place road course.
I think
I was just
Blaney
more putting teammates against each other.
Blaney has a win on a road course. I mean,
yes, the Roval, and he
so-
almost won the Daytona Road
Right.
Course Clash. He's always up there, kind of just in fifth, like chilling. If guys get together in a corner, he's there to pounce. Ryan Blaney is like an undercover road course dog.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
Blaney's out there.
Ryan Blaney is. I don't even know if he's that undercover. I was looking at betting odds, and he was surprisingly high. So it was like plus 1,600, which is, I mean, that's like right outside the top 5.
I'm going to throw out a wild card round 6, Matt DiBenedetto or Michael McDowell.
By the way, we did talk that, so you have to
that
listen
was like
to
the first
that was the
fucking
first
topic,
topic we discussed in the episode. So go back and listen. What are the two options?
Matt DiBenedetto or Michael McDowell. That was a good one. I just thought.
Matty D.
Ooh, because I'm going Michael McDowell, dude. He's a road course little undertaker. Like,
is he?
Motherfucker, yeah. His whole background is road course racing, and he's always there, like between 5th and 10th at these things. Nobody notices.
Shit. Yeah, I guess I didn't notice.
I'm
trying to think.
Road course dude too. He hasn't really done anything in 21, but remember the 95 at Sonoma? He drove all the way up to like 3rd on his own and took a top 3 finish. Like Matty D can get it done, but Michael McDowell is almost like restricted plate racing. He's there at these road course races.
Well, that's why I'm thinking him on like super speedways and shit. Like I'm not really.
Yeah.
Maybe
Michael
I'm
McDowell's
wrong,
good at these road courses.
Okay. All right. I'm probably wrong on that one. Honestly, I'll admit that. If I'm wrong on that one, I'm not too worried about it. So yeah, let's wrap
Take
it
our
up.
bets and undertakers.
The locks of the week, wild card, undertakers, whatever we're gonna call them. I don't know. We keep coming up with different names for these picks.
We need some sort of beacon to come up.
You want me to start off?
Yeah.
All right. This one's probably going to be controversial, but I've already discussed both of these drivers, and I think I've discussed the reasons for why I'm picking them. Lock of the week, probably the worst pick I've had this whole season for lock of the week, Chase Elliott.
You dirty dick.
Chase Elliott. And it's literally, as I mentioned, he has the best odds to win. If we're going like off Vegas odds, he's plus 240. So don't put money on him. I mean, you're not going to get fucking paid out anything, but this is like the last chance I'm giving him my full confidence to win a race before he has to prove to me otherwise. You know what I mean? Like this is his last shot, because I have picked him on a few things because he's so talented and he's in good equipment. But I mean, he's the worst driver on that team right now. And I know that sounds crazy, but like honestly,
you wild,
yeah.
boy.
He is. I mean, I guess in points standings he's not, but in terms of wins, I mean, that's all that matters. I'm picking these guys for wins. We're not picking who's finishing better. These are wins right now. So this is my last chance I'm giving you, Chase Elliott, until you prove me wrong. I'm not giving up on you entirely. This is just like, this is where you need to win. You're in good equipment. You're on the best team in NASCAR right now in the Cup Series, and nobody's raced here before. This is your chance. You are really good at road courses. Here you go. So
right.
That's my lock. Like I said, it's probably stupid lock. And my wild card, I'm going Christopher Bell.
You dirty dog.
He has a win on a road course. And
yeah,
you know, there's guys like Ryan Blaney that I wanted to pick initially, but when I looked up the actual like betting odds, he was like right outside the top 5 of most likely to win. So I was like, I guess that's not really a wild card. So yeah, whenever I do these, I have to scroll down a little bit to see who's kind of underrated. And I saw Christopher Bell was pretty low down there, and I was like, I mean, he has a fucking road course win this season, so why not?
True.
Probably my worst 2 picks this whole season.
Man, I don't really know. I want to go for the win here, but I'm not gonna copy you with the dumbass Chase move. Do I be another second better and say Truex, because I kind of want to,
That's who I was going to pick, honestly.
I think that's who I'm leaning towards. But I think I could totally take my lock. Not even going to see it coming. He's got several road course wins. He won earlier at a road course this year. Taking Kyle Busch in 18 is my lock. Boom. Roasted. Solid road course racer.
That's not bad.
He's always looming there in like third, and he's there to strike. Kyle Busch is not playing around. He's got speed. I mean, he had some woes at Dover, but like Kyle Busch.
He's been doing a lot better. He's looking good
in this race.
He's got the momentum.
I will put my money on the 18 this week. It just seems like an M&M's kind of day. And for a wild card, I said it earlier and at the line, watch that damn 16 of AJ Allmendinger. Colleague brings speed to these road courses. Kaz Gralla finished like 7th last year in Austin Dillon's car. I mean, he works on the Colleague cars too. He's a Colleague driver, whatever that means. But it's like the Colleague program work. All they have is restrictor plate cars and road course cars for the Cup program right now. So I feel like they have some basis going. It's AJ. He's won in the Cup Series. I mean, what other chances do I get to pick someone like him?
Right.
I'm going to take him as my wild card.
Okay, yeah, I was pulling it up. He's actually West 2,800, so right around Christopher Bell as well.
Yeah, good little wild card.
Yeah.
Look at us.
I like your picks better. I've never said that, but this week you had better picks than me. All right. So that concludes the episode. I will be out at the race all weekend.
Can't wait to see your videos and pics, bro.
Posting a lot of content on at Chairgatin on Instagram and Twitter. Check us out if you haven't already. But I don't know why you'd be fucking listening to this podcast if you don't follow us on social media. That'd be weird. Also,
maybe you're a new fan and you're just getting into NASCAR and you want to know what real dudes do. Talking about
NASCAR. What real dudes do is what
just
we do
guys
right
being dudes, man. Cheers.
That's what we do, boy. Just crush that. Yeah. Also, everybody, make sure to hit the link in the description below to buy anything Yeti, and also.
Hey, boy, get your shine on, bro.
Yeats Official, right? That's their website, yeatsofficial.com. You can follow them on social. Also, they actually post some of our shit, which is cool. And we actually have a 10% off discount code there. And it's Chairgatin in all caps, just like how it's spelled without the G because we're rednecks. Go get 10% off the shades, literally that Dakota's wearing. They have really cool shades. They're actually dope.
You want to be a baller shot caller, boy, you better get that discount.
Yeah. Next race that we go to, we'll both be rocking them for sure.
Hey.
So, yeah. Everybody go look as cool as Dakota and make sure to get us paid. That's really what's important.
Ew.
And, yeah. Hopefully we'll see you Sunday. If I'm still alive, we'll see you
I
Sunday
can't
night.
wait. You're going to be sunburned, blistered, and fucking hungover.
Yeah. We'll see. Well, we'll see if it rains or not. It might get rained out.
Perfect. You go live from the track, and I'll be here.
We'll see. I'm probably going to be wasted. I don't know if that's a good idea.
Hey, dude, Chairgatin live.
All right. We'll see y'all Sunday.
Peace.
Take care. Peace.